Hey there, sales champions, and welcome back to Blackwood's Academy Sales Tip of the Day. We're going to be looking into a skill that's highly underrated, which is asking the right questions. So, if you ever felt stuck in a call or unsure of how to move a prospect forward or the conversation, or struggling to uncover what it is that they truly need, this video is for you. Now, we've covered questions quick before, but I've had some requests to do a little bit thorough, a little bit thorough, deeper work into it. So we're taking it from a little bit of a different perspective now. So why? Why do that again? Well, because salespeople, we aren't just talkers. You can't just be talking, and telling them everything fantastic about your product without knowing what actually matters to them. So we are as salespeople, masters of question asking. And today I'm going to show you how to ask the right questions and how they can help you uncover the pain points, build trust, and guide to your prospect, towards that the ultimate goal of getting a yes. So let's look into it a little bit. Why questions matter. Well, look, why are questions so powerful in sales? Well, look, it's controlling without dominance. Like you're asking the questions, you're asking the questions to your prospect, and it gives you control of the conversation without coming across as overbearing. You're guiding the dialogue while allowing the prospect to feel heard. You're not telling them where to go, you're gently nudging them. It also uncovers, like we talked about, pain points, so the prospects might not volunteer their biggest challenges. Nobody, wants to necessarily tell you what their problem is. But a good question helps, surface those problems, and they might not even realize they have them. It also helps build rapport, and thoughtful questions show your prospect that you're genuinely interested. You want to help them. You're not there just to make a sale, and we want to build a relationship. We don't want to just do a one-time sale. We want to build something that's of value of them and of value to you. It also does showcase, expertise. So it is something that you will absolutely, and you do utilize them, just we need to do them at the right point, and then in the right way. You don't want to be pushy. You want to be, yeah, uncovering what it is they need. Now, if we think about like we've gone through this before, some of the questions. So if we look a little bit into the frameworks that you can use, you know, um, we're going to be looking into two of them at this point, a little bit of a different, like I said, approach than last time. Then the first one is going to be spin. Now, a lot of you guys might have already heard of this. Some of you might not. So, spin is basically just situation questions, problem questions, implication questions, need payoff questions. This is a very simple model. It is very well known. If you don't know it, you should. And to go through it in a little bit of a more, how to apply spin off, it's like I said, it stands for situation, problem, implication, and need payoff. This method is, like we said, classic. It just works. And how to apply it is very simple. Situation questions are to gather context. Can you tell me a little bit about your current prospect? How are you handling this situation right at this moment? What is the situation? How are you handling this problem or this thing? Problem questions, that's highlighting the challenge. Look, what's the biggest frustration with your current system? What are your biggest pain points? And this is just to uncover everything we talked about. What are their issues? What do they need help with? And then you go into implication. What are the consequences of inaction? Look, if what happens if this continues for another 6 months or a week or a year or two or three? Is this still gonna be a pain? Is it gonna cost you a lot of money? Like, how can we do this? And the need payoff focuses on the benefit. So if we could solve this problem right now, how would that impact your team's productivity? So spin is about creating just that natural flow. It's guiding the prospect from awareness of their problem, to be excited about your solution. And it's a fairly simple way to do it. And you can build your script up from this. And you should have a bunch of situation questions, bunch of problem questions, bunch of implication questions, a bunch of need payoff questions, and offer, and then you pick your favorite ones. And this is a simple method, and you can use it in most cases and in most scenarios. Now, one other framework, just like to go into something else, give you a little bit of extra for the buck, is TED. TED is just like you see on the screen: tell, explain, describe. It's a simple conversational and encourages the open respond. So an example, this would be something like, tell me more about how this affects your team's daily operations. Explain what, success would look like for your department in this area. Describe what the ideal situation, the ideal situation or solution would look for you. So you don't have to go and say, tell, explain, describe, but you could ask like, hey, look, I'm just curious with this onboarding software, how does this, affect your guys' daily work? Da 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 da. Okay, well, look, if we were to find a solution on this, what would like be a metric of like success that you could, that we could measure from, or, and then you go into describe, well, all right, if you had like a magic wand, what would be the perfect solution for you guys right and this is just a simple framework. It's feel, felt, found. Like all these are just tools, especially if you're new in the game, to get you kind of going into it. And these phrases, they invite your client and they invite the prospect to share, to come in, to be involved in this. They allow your prospect to share some details, give you some insight, and insights that you need to perfect the perfect pitch. Go into it. So, what other like strategic questions could you have? Well, I listed some down, and here are a few you can keep in your toolbox. Discovery questions. What's currently working well for you? What isn't? What's changed in your business recently that prompted you to explore these solutions? Or, go, if they're an inbound, this is one of the things. Easy question. What is it? Why are you here? Like, is there something that happened that made you want to look into this? Clarifying questions. Can you elaborate on this pain point? Can you tell me a little bit more? When you say, delay in onboarding, could you be a little bit more specific? Like, where is the delay? Value-oriented questions. Well, what's the most important outcome you hope to achieve? If you could change one thing about your current setup, what would it be? And then closing questions. Based on what we've discussed, does this sound like it could, solve your challenge? What's the decision-making process for you, uh, to make a decision on this? To say yes, like, what are we looking at? You can do any one of these, and there are a million of them. And it is good to have these frameworks. I absolutely, I recommend you read them, study them, go through them, and you need to have them, second hand and second nature. Like it's not second hand, second nature. Like, and it takes a little time to learn. And you have guys in sales that are like, oh, Feel Felt is so old, or Ada is so old, and this is so old, and there's a new framework, and there's this. Dude, the basic frameworks will help you. They will do everything you need. You don't need to complicate things. So, look, let's look a little bit into the psychology behind this. Like, why is it so important to have these right questions? Well, look, prospects love to feel heard. That's it. Humans are hardwired to want to be understood. And when you listen actively, it builds trust and rapport. I mean, this goes for your relationship, this goes for your family, your friends. People want to be heard. So make them feel like it. You're asking questions, you're building on what they said. That makes them feel like this guy cares, he's listening, he's actually got a solution that works for me. Reciprocity effect. When you ask insightful questions, prospect feels, compelled to answer. And this creates a natural flow of the conversation. You're not just asking any like kind of out of the box questions for anyone. You actually heard that he said he has this issue, and you ask, why do you have that issue? What's happening there? And he goes, okay, he's not going to go in and mind his subconscious, but it works. So just do what works. All these kind of like fancy ass, frameworks that are coming out and these things, new things. Yes, of course, check them out, look at them, and a lot of them are just built on this basic stuff that people want to be heard, they want to be feel valued, they want to feel understood. And this is the basic of psychology, and it's the same as it's been in sales since the dawn of time. If they like you, if they like the product and they like the company, they will buy. So don't overcomplicate this stuff. Like you need to keep this simple. It is really that simple. It's the confidence, it's the tonality. That's how you get shit done. So common mistakes to avoid: asking closing end questions. We talked about this before. Don't limit the conversation. Let them talk. Interrupting, silence is gold. One of the most popular videos on this channel. Rapid fire question, bam, 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 makes it feel like it's an interrogation, not a conversation. So back off, let them answer, take your time. Silence is gold. So, and of course, not listening. If they say something and you just go on into the next question because it's on your script. You don't build on what they're saying. So it's not a conversation, it becomes again an interrogation. So, actual steps today. Look, pick one of the frameworks. Choose spin, choose TED, and practice using it on your next call. Prep 5 key questions. Write down 5 open-ended questions that you can, use to spark deeper conversation, and practice active listening. Record your next call, evaluate how you think you've done. Look into how much you're talking and they're talking. I've had to do it plenty of times. I can talk like nobody's business, but I had to like go into it and see like, all right, look, I'm dominating. I need to back off a little bit. So, look, storytelling, objection handling, closing techniques, these are all critical. But asking the right question is the foundation of all of them. So, it's how you discover what your prospect needs and how you position yourself to offer the solution. So, if you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your team. And don't forget to check out my Udemy course for a deeper dive into these strategies. It's in the channel description. And let's get out there and start asking the right questions. Look, I'll see you guys tomorrow again for another tip for Blackwoods Academy. I really enjoyed being here with you, and I hope you do too. Thank you so much.